Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to the show here. It's your buddy Uncle Bruce here, Stock Markets with Bruce, where we desperately try to tell you what's going on in the market in plain English. That's the shtick of this show. And what else do we do here? We try to help people figure out a way to make money in this market. And the most obvious answer and the easiest way to do it, whether you believe in it or not, is a lot of viewers on this channel write stock options against their stock positions. And most of you just went, if you've never been here before, you've just gone, huh? What is that? Options. Oh, options are for gamblers. You are correct. Options are for gamblers, as a matter of fact. There are millions of people out there who are gambling because they're not really thinking about fundamentals of the market and analytical ideas. There are millions of people out there who are buying call options, put options, and trying to guess what direction the market is going to go to try to make money. They're utilizing the advantages that options give them, and that is you can buy a call option for like $100, $200, $500. You can buy some of them for $5, $10, $20. And then you get this leverage on 100 shares per contract. And if you buy a call option and the stock that is represented by that option goes up in value, and then a few days after you get it, or that minute or that hour, you're making money on a 100-to-1 leverage. In other words, you have a contract, you control 100 shares for a while. So there's stories out there that you hear about from time to time where you get these reports saying, a college student in Indiana somewhere, or Ohio or Pennsylvania, made $250,000 on the stock options on blah, blah, blah stock, or whatever the flavor of the day is. And this is the allure that brings in millions of gamblers into the options market. And then there are the sophisticated investors who are very analytical, very careful, very wise. They play the options market. They're generally not what we call rampant gamblers. They are risk takers that kind of have a pretty good gut feel for what market trends look like. And then there are the institutions themselves that also buy stock options or use options to protect portfolios, enhance returns, whatever you want to call it. And then there's the other side of the market. I've talked about the gamblers who buy and sell all these contracts. And then there are the group over here. This is where most of you come in. You're the writers, you're the creators of the options, because an option cannot trade unless there's a buyer and a seller. So if you have a gambler over here who wants to buy 10 contracts in GameStop or Apple or whatever in between stock you want to play, you got to have a seller for those contracts to the gambler. It can be sometimes a gambler trading with a gambler, but the original creation of all option contracts, every single options contract that exists and trades, was once created by an option writer. And most of the time, and a high majority of all contracts that exist are created by what we would refer to as large institutional traders, investment entities. Okay, so I'm talking about pension funds, hedge funds, ETFs, massive, large investors, banks, insurance companies, entities that have a large exposure to the markets and own lots of shares of companies. Whenever you see these SEC filings, and you read that, XYZ holding company based in wherever is filing with the SEC that they now own 6.9% of blah, blah, blah company or what have you. So it doesn't matter if it's AT&T, IBM to SoFi. It runs the gamut. It can be a $2 stock, $1 stock, up to thousands of dollars a share stock. There are options on almost all of this stuff, and they're all created by someone. And in this family right here, in this channel, right in this little zone right here, the folks that watch this homeless Canadian guy living in a hotel right now are following him because he, that's me, is giving them ideas on how you can write options against stock you happen to own, ETFs you happen to be sitting on. You were working for years and years with a company and you had a company stock option plan that, you know, you put in $50 a week into the savings plan, the company matched it, and then once a year you could buy stock from the treasury of the company at 15% below the lowest price of the year, whatever the deal was that you had wherever you were for the amount of time you were there. And over 5, 10, 15, 20 years of time, when you reached your 40s or your 50s, you realized, wow, I got 4,000 shares of this stuff. I got 7,000 shares of stock in our company. I got 700 shares or whatever it is. I got 4.8, I don't know. And you're looking at this going, yeah, it's worth like $40,000, $80,000, $20,000, $200,000, $5 million, whatever it's worth. A lot of you out there have got a chunk of capital tied up in your 401k, an IRA or Roth, whatever you put it in. I'm not a tax guy, so don't look to me for that. Don't give me tax questions. Can't help you. In Canada, you have stock inside RRSPs, retirement savings plans, that were basically employment savings opportunities where you could have so much deducted from your check, the employee would match it, and it would go right into an RRSP, like a pension plan. And a bunch of you out there are sitting on assets inside pension type situations. And many of you, or some of you, can't touch it while you're working for the company, or you can't do anything with it for at least so many years before you're allowed to transfer it to wherever you want it to go. Or once you leave a firm, it can be transferred to your personal private RSP account or retirement account in the US, wherever you are. And some of you have not realized, you had never known this, that for the past 10 years, for the past 15 years, while you were in your late 20s and your 30s and your early 40s, for all those years, you could have been writing stock options in your portfolio to bring in income, to enhance the return of the money that you have been dutifully saving, and compound these returns. And in effect, take that cash, buy more of the units or shares or whatever it is you're sitting on to write even more options and compound your income return. I can guarantee you that in almost, not every case, but in many, many cases, the top 1% of the management of the company you work with, the top operators up there, the CEOs, CFOs, their assistant, the top people at the boardroom, they have all got advisors. They've all had financial advisors to help them add returns to their portfolios. And it might have been next to impossible for the president of the company to write options on his stock in his company, but it was not impossible for the president to borrow money from a lender, any old banker, against his shares, value of his, his holdings, a percentage thereof, and buy himself that new Mercedes, get that nice house in the Hamptons, but also acquire shares or call options that are deep in the money on other companies' stock out there in amounts that don't mean he has to file any SEC filings, and write options on that. And so many of the senior managements of these publicly traded companies, if they have any quality people looking after their assets, and not all of them do. Some of them have idiots. They have, Uncle Fester, their brother-in-law is looking after their stuff, and it's a disaster. But some of these guys have serious Wall Street people behind them, and/or hedge fund managers that they've gone to. They've been approached by hedge funds or vice versa, and they have hedge funds looking after their assets for them, and they're writing contracts. and they're bringing in income like you cannot believe. And the way you know it, funny enough, is what does a guy own? Well, yeah, the guy gets $1 million a year salary running the company, or he's a senior VP getting $1 million a year with his bonuses, and he has stock options, and he has a house in the Hamptons, a condo in New York. He uses net jets to fly around with him and his family at $5,000 an hour per jet, or whatever the jet is. Has a timeshare in Hawaii that he uses 2 weeks a year, which is a 5,000 square foot timeshare. It's not one of the ones that you and I know about. And travels the world, works hard, plays hard, enjoys the life. Kids go to good schools, on and on and on and on it goes. When you're rich and you're wealthy, you get to enjoy it. But they make more money than the money that they're reported to make from their employers. And how are they living this life? Well, they have income streams, multiple income streams that they have. And it might be a collection of mutual funds that they own, or ETFs that pay dividends. There's an income stream. But they also have very likely financial advisors that help them increase their returns by writing stock options against their portfolios to enhance revenues even more. And if you can do something really conservative with, say, IBM, and bring in a 5% yield on the dividend every year, and then bring in 1% per month in option premium on average, that's 17% a year. That sounds pretty good, but if you only got $1,000 in IBM, that's it's $170 a month, a year, $170 on 1,000. But if you got $1 million and you're bringing in 17% on $1 million, hello, $770,000. Isn't that a nice wage or two added to the income stream? You see what I mean? These are capital gains, taxed at capital gain rates. And of course, thanks to successive administrations in the United States that have been very favorable to very well-to-do Americans, a lot of these folks who are making some serious coin have managed to find ways, with the help of their elected officials that they have generously donated to pay very little in taxes on these additional revenue sources and streams. And so the yachts, the private jets, and the weekend getaway locations, and playing golf at Pebble Beach is within reach. And thank you very much. What a great country. Anyway, on this channel, what I'm trying to help out is, with my 206 people up here and more coming in here every second, is to show them how they can become similar to these people over here, maybe, by learning how to write options yourself and become your own asset manager. So you don't have to hire a professional asset manager to handle your affairs. You can do it on your own, and you can do it quite well and conservatively, and make yourself a nice return on your money, a very nice return on your money. Now, can I turn you into millionaires in one trade? Nope, can't do it. Can I increase your cash flow? Can I help you find a way to increase your cash flow to make a difference in your lives? Yeah, the answer is yes. It's already happening here. It's been happening for over a year now, a year and a half. The catch, of course, is you want something, you gotta get after it. And I can only lead you to the trough. You have to drink the water. And all I can do is I can talk about how to write options on this program while we're trading live and watching what's going on out there. But you have to do some work yourself to become familiar with how stock options work in the first place. Even you smarty pants people out there, some of you out there are so smart. You've been trading options for years and you think you know everything. And if you did, why are you here trying to figure out how to write options? Because if you're so smart, you should be rich and you don't need me. But there are a lot of you out there, and it's okay. You've tried to play the options market. You've learned a lot about the options market, but it just doesn't work for you. You get a win and you score a real nice return on an option trade or two, and then you get successive losing trades time and time again, and you get cut with 1,000 cuts. A loss here, a little loss here. I broke even there. And then I made some money on this, but then I gave that away over there, there. And over the years, you have more losers than winners, and you're so frustrated. and you get to the point where you just are saying the market is fixed and there's no way I can make money. And when you're to that level, you are not winning. That's obviously what's happening. So look, have I got every answer to every problem? No. But do I have ways to help you make money in this market? I think I do. And I decided a year and a few months ago to start making classes, doing classes live and putting them on my website so that either you can watch the class live, or if you've missed the live class, you can watch it anytime you want once we've edited it a little bit on my website. And now you can just acquire these classes whenever you want. There's 13 of them now that you can watch on how the options market works, why they're there, who buys them and sells them, who writes them, who doesn't, how do they move when a stock goes up, down, or doesn't move at all, how they depreciate out, and then all kinds of option writing strategies that I've talked about. And many of you who are here, I don't even have to tell you to do it. You've done it. You've gone out there, you've watched these classes, you're watching them now, you're slowly getting all 13 in. You're taking about an hour and a half to 2.5 hours per class, depending on which one you're watching, to absorb info. A number of you who have been playing options for years thought, well, I'll watch a class and just see if it's any good. I know how options work. And then I get the comments either here live or I get them privately on emails. I didn't know about that. I had heard that, but I had forgotten that, or I hadn't thought of that. You're bringing up little gems in these classes that I didn't even consider. And the psychology of the market is where I'm trying to get a lot of you to understand and absorb. You have to understand something when you write a call option. You sell and create a call option for the first time. There's a buyer for it, and they are thinking absolutely the opposite that you are. Because the only reason you're selling an option is because you think it's going to go down in value. You've done all your homework. You figured out how options work, and you're looking at a call with a week or 2 or 3 left to go, and you know, deep down inside, you know, this contract is going to depreciate over the next 10 days because time value is going to crush this thing. And I'm going to sell it up here, and I'm going to buy it back down here, and I'm going to keep the difference between what I sold it for and what I bought it back for. It's classic strategy. Sell first, buy back later, keep the change. The person buying the contract from you thinks the opposite. They're thinking, what an idiot. A person's offering me this contract at this cheap price. I'm going to buy it because I believe in the next week or two, this contract's going to go way up in value and I'm going to sell it at a higher price. So I buy down, I buy low, I sell high. That's what everyone else does. And it's true. 95% of the world thinks buy low, sell high. Only 5% of the world even thinks about selling high, buying low, and less than 1% of the market players actually write call options. And so you are part of a very exclusive club, a very small club. You're not going to find 50,000 people coming to St. Louis once a year for the annual stock option writers convention. You're just not gonna do it. Not gonna happen. You're not going to Orlando. You're not going to Orange County. You're not going anywhere for a stock option writers convention because there aren't any. Where you're going to go, where you're going to be invited to go, and you're going to be more than welcome to drop some serious coin to go, is you're going to get to go see guys like the Nigerian brothers, Pete Nigerian, John Nigerian, great guys, former traders on the Chicago floor. They were trading on the floor when it was all manually done by human beings. It's all done by computer now. The Nigerians are famous. They're on CNBC every day. One of the two of them is on CNBC every day, 5 days a week. They're pros at trading options, and they conduct live seminars. And I'm not sure how many a year, 2 or 3 or 4 a year. I'm not even sure. And they'll do them in Vegas. They'll do them in Dallas. They'll do them everywhere, and they'll attract in 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 speakers, guest speakers about trading options, and they will attract several thousand attendees to come out And these folks will drop 1, 2, 5, 8, 10 grand each to fly in, hotel, meals, seminars, private get-togethers. And if you get lucky, wait in line long enough, you might be able to shake one of the Nigerian's brothers' hands and get his autograph and get a selfie, and try to learn how to trade options. Nothing wrong with that. That's the American way. It's great. But the reality is that the options you're buying or investing in, someone has to sell them to you. And it's either another investor in that room or in the world of option trading, someone who has an option is selling, or someone is selling you an option that is being created. And that is where we are. And that's why this channel is so small when you compare me up to the other YouTubers out there who talk about trading the market and how to make money in the stock market and all this stuff. Because YouTubers that promote the notion that you can make money in the stock market get people's attention, because there are people out there who are going, you can show me a way I can make money in the market? I want to watch this. You got that right. I need more money. I have expensive girlfriends. I have expensive wives. I have expensive children. I have expensive tastes, or I got problems and I need to make some dough here. Or I just want to have a better lifestyle than I have now. Look, I don't promise you the world, but all I'm thinking of is, hey, is there a way I can help you figure out how to make money in this market, especially now in a bear market, because we're in a bear market. This market is tailor-made for stock option writers. And for those of you who are desperate to enhance your lifestyle, change your life, maybe adjust your daily routine somewhat, to those of you who are radically want to make a complete change. I mean, this runs the gamut. I get viewers who ask me, look, if you can just show me how to make an extra $1,000 a month in the market with my existing portfolio, that would make all the difference to me. That would be, I'm 35 years old, and if you can show me to make 12 grand a year more in my portfolio, by the time I'm 55 in 20 years, hey man, I want to thank you, because the way this thing is going, I'm not going to retire at age 50 or 55. There's no way in hell that's going to happen. I know coworkers who are in their 60s, they have to retire in the next few years. And they're sitting on $80,000 of savings after 35 years of work. They didn't get any raises for the last decade other than 1 or 2% a year. They haven't been moved up the corporate ladder. As a matter of fact, they've been so happy to hold on to their jobs and not be laid off and let go. They're just grateful they're still here. I'm 35 and I see the future. I don't like the future in this organization. I know people in this company who've kept their jobs here for 15 years longer than they should have been here for one reason and one reason only: the healthcare plan. They're so afraid of losing that, they didn't even bother looking around for better opportunities anywhere else, where in the reality, they could have looked around with a headhunter, perhaps found a better organization to go with for way more money and the same kind of healthcare coverage. They didn't do it because they were so clustered in. They're so, they got the blinders on that they can't see the peripheral vision of the real world. And it was only the COVID virus, the COVID-19 was the only thing that made them go, well, what's everyone else doing? Because I've just been told to work from home. Is everybody else working from home? And that's when they realized, oh my God, I've heard of one of the coworker, 3 cubicles down. They just quit their job and got a job doing the same thing with company blah, 200 miles from here. They'll never go to the office. They're working from home now, and they're making 40% more money than before. And they're calling me saying, you should come and join us. The company I'm with, they're desperate to hire 10 more people. I told them about you. This is where people have made shifts in their lives. But I've got people contacting me going, hey man, I don't have that opportunity. I need to enhance my revenues from what I've got. I've saved up hard. I've worked hard. I've got some home equity. I got this, I got that, but it's not doing anything. And there's no way I can keep working at this pace for these people. They're killing me. And I'm already noticing that people 4 or 5 years older than me get kicked out. They get slowly eliminated from existence. I'm quickly becoming one of the oldest employees of the firm, and I'm 44. And there's nobody here over 50. Like the only guys over 50 are the ones at the top, and they own this place. They don't really work here as employees. I'm running out of time. I need to make a move. Help me. And so for those of you who are in that situation, those of you who are really focused and you've really figured it out, you've noticed, I know the game. It doesn't include me. I am not the future of this corporation. I have got to make my move. I welcome you. I welcome you with open arms, and I'm hopeful that between myself and the folks that you see commenting here that have their names highlighted in green with a logo beside their name, those are members of this channel. There's a join button if you'd like to become a member. You can become a member at 2 different levels. Gold Bagel member is the top of the food chain around here. The Gold Bagel members probably make the most money here, because they get the most information off of this channel. As a Gold Bagel member, you're here before I start at 8:30 in the morning. You're already getting the pre-market alert. And on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern, you're here for the live primetime show with Uncle Bruce. Gold Bagel members only, and that's as close to a one-on-one as you're ever going to get. You want a one-on-one with me? They're available. $400 an hour. They're available. If you want to have a one-on-one with me, you will get your $400 worth of time. Oh, yes, you will do that. But really, you need to understand what the hell we're talking about. And so my recommendation to you, hang out here with us for a little bit and watch this talk. Soon we will only have members talking only, because during market hours, just members of this channel can speak. Ask me anything you want live during the show, during market hours, and they talk to each other. A lot of these folks talk to each other. You probably noticed that. But you could do that to start with. Second thing I'd recommend you do is take these classes. Start with one, then go to another one. I'm not making you buy all 13 in one shot. There's none of this. You can just pick whatever class you want. I'd recommend start with class number 1 and then go to number 2 and just systematically go through them all. And you'll understand what the heck we're talking about. And you get to watch the class again and again and again, because once you've acquired the class, the link that I give you, you can rewatch it as many times as you want. And what begins to happen here is people who come into this channel and into option writing, they realize, oh my God, I had no idea this even existed. I didn't know that this existed the way it actually does exist. And I had no idea that I could even write an option. I thought option writing was for banks, insurance companies, mutual funds, hedge funds, massive insurance companies, like big institutional entities were the only ones that could write options, including the option traders in Chicago, the specialty firms. I didn't know I could use 100 shares of my stock to write an option against it. I had no clue, and I would never have known how to do it, because there's nowhere I can go to figure out how this is done in a plain English kind of way. Well, that's what we do here. We're trying to bring you to the other side. I'm trying to show you the other side of the market. There's 2 sides to every trade. There's one person who thinks it's going to go from here to here, and there's another one who's saying, I think it's going to go from here to here. And each of them have their legitimate reasons as to why they think their investment and their decision to make whatever investment they make is the one to make. And it's right down to like your house. You want to buy a house? You've never owned a house ever before. You're looking for a house that fits your needs, is in a good neighborhood, and that maybe can appreciate in price. That's the big one. Can it go up in value? The seller of said house is saying, we've outgrown the house. We don't need this space anymore. Maybe it's too big. And I think we've topped out in the market. Now I want to buy a house somewhere else. I want to get a condo now. I want to move to another state. There's opposite reasons why a deal gets done all the time. And on options, I'm trying to help you guys figure out, why would I sell this option at this price? How do I know that, how do I have a feeling it's going to be down here in a pretty short period of time? And that's my job. is to help you understand the logistics of it. You have to be the one to pull the trigger on it. And a lot of you have told me you were terrified the first time you made your first trade, but you knew what you were doing. You had an idea what you were up to. But you know what? You started with one call option. You started with one trade of one contract. And the good news about the option market, it lets in all players. It lets in all players of all sizes. Whether you write one option, 100 options at a time, 400 at a time, it doesn't matter. And a lot of you started with one, and a week or so later, you bought it back and you broke even on it, or you made a little money on it. You made a lot of money on it. Some of you found that the option went up in value against your idea of going down, and you bought it back for $50 more than it cost you, what you got for it. But then you analyzed your trade and you realized, oh, I forgot the stock that I have went up $200 in value. The option I wrote against it went up $50 in value. I'm actually up $150 anyway. Even though I'm wrong, I still made money. And I'm going to write another option now at a higher strike price, because if these shares stay here or slump back those $2, this contract that I'm writing now will become worthless, and I will score a huge gain. I'm not going to make $50. I might make $250. So many of you have learned by doing the option trades. And that's the only way you're really going to get it, is by doing it. But good news, if you want to figure out how options work, you're taking my classes, you're hanging out here, you can trade options for free. You can trade options for absolutely nothing and no risk whatsoever. You're not going to make any money. You're not going to get any gains, but you're not going to have any losses. And what do I mean by trading for free? You go to Ameritrade or go to Fidelity or go to any of these platforms. They have pretend accounts. Some of these outfits will allow you to trade options in live markets. And so that you can literally place an order to write a call on GameStop at the price the actual contract is trading at right now. And then you put in your stink bid to buy it back. You learn what stink bids are, by the way. Stink bids save lives. Just to give you an idea what stink bids are, they save lives. You can do all of this through pretend accounts and get comfy that way before you even do your own trade. How easy is that? I just try to explain to you in plain English. That's the difference. I'm 66 going on 67. I turned 67 later this month. And I was a stockbroker in 1979 when there were options. There were options in 79. We used to trade options where the expiry dates were the third Friday of every month. That was it. It's just the third Friday of every month is when options expired. You couldn't write or trade an option that expired this Friday or next Friday. It was the third Friday of every month only on all stocks. And in those days, stocks had to be over at least $5 a share in order to even be able to have options. And then options that traded, I think under $1 or $2 traded in pennies. Over $2, they traded in nickels, and over $5, they traded in eighths or sixteenths of a dollar. The old days, the liquidity was nothing like it is now, and it was all done through your stockbroker to a desk trader, to a head desk trader, to the floor, to the floor runner, to the trader on the floor, and reverse. So it took 5 guys to get the order to the floor and 5 guys to get the order back to you to tell you you did this trade. And that could take 2 minutes to 10 minutes, depending how busy we were. Today, it's all here. Trading call options are right here. You can write a call option sitting on the toilet in wonderful comfort. You got one of those nice, cushy, soft toilet seats. You can sit on there for hours. And you can trade your portfolio with this. You want to go to Europe for a 2-week holiday, take this with you and trade options there. Those of you who figured out how to change your lives, you quit your jobs a long time ago. You're trading options full time. This is your job now. You're going to Europe for 3 months because there's no rush. You don't have to come back for the office. You're not coming back because your boss wants you in a conference in Dallas at the end of the month. No, you're not coming back. You're now traveling wherever you want to travel to for as long as you want to be there, because you're writing call options. There are people on this channel who are in the middle of, and may have already been doing it, are certainly going to do this. They're going to dump their apartments or condos or their homes or wherever they're living, and they're going to put whatever they want to keep in storage for a while, and they're going to live out of a suitcase and do some serious travel. Now, it might be a backpack, it might be a suitcase, I don't know. Everyone has their preferences. There are people who are going to travel the world who are going to follow the markets on these phones and keep up with me through the internet, easily done, to trade options full-time wherever they are. And they're not going to have a huge amount of money to be coming up with every month at home. They don't have rent or mortgage payments, utility payments at home, property taxes, car payments. They've dumped everything. They are nomads, like I am right now, a nomad. They're full-time travelers. And they're traveling with these devices. As long as you have internet, you're in business. And so the cost of living for them is much lower on the road than anyone else who's taking a 2-week holiday. Because someone who's taking a 2-week holiday, while you're gone for 2 weeks, you're still getting bills at home for 2 weeks. These folks who've changed their lives completely are going, no. I'm an asset manager. I manage my own personal assets through option writing, and I can do this from wherever I am as long as I have internet. And I don't have a whole bunch of bills at home, except for a storage bill, unless you convinced your mom and dad to use part of their garage for stashing your stuff. But generally, they're too snoopy. You want to keep it in a storage unit. That's the kind of freedom I'm talking about that people are now taking advantage of and figuring it out. It's amazing. It's absolutely over the moon freedom that people never thought they had. And again, I come back to the very beginning of my chat here. Many of the viewers of this channel, of the 262 that are, I can see my little meter up there. You might see a meter down here somewhere. Tell you how many people are watching me right now. I don't know how many of the 258 or 262 of you are members of this channel. I don't know how many of you are subscribers. I don't know how many of you just got here and are watching me for the first time or second time, or actually listening to me. I can tell you that a high number of the members of this channel, their lives have completely changed in the last year and a half, because they've taken the time to figure out how stock options actually work. It's an entirely different market than the stock market. There's similarities and there's differences. And these folks have figured out both, and they've realized, oh my God, OMG, I can be a writer like a hedge fund is a writer. I can do what pension funds do by selling contracts into the market. Who's dying to buy them? Take their money first. I got the cash in my hand, and I'm just watching the market to see when I buy these back. And I have in mind kind of a buyback price I'd like to get for these calls. And all I have to do is be patient and just watch this market. And if the shares stay flat, don't do anything for a few days, the contract drops in value because it's running out of time. It has an expiry date. If the shares go down a little bit, not a lot, but just a little, it'll go down even. These contracts will go down even faster because they're losing value and time. It's a combination. It's a deadly combination. If the shares actually rise a little bit as time goes by, the contract barely moves. It won't even go up. It might even still drop in value, because it also is coming to an expiry point in time, and it has a certain book value and the time value. The time value is shrinking out. The book value may be increasing, but not as much as. And there are people here who sell options, buy them back, take a look at the trade, analyze it, and go, yeah, I was wrong in that trade. I thought that GameStop would go from $28 to $24 a share, and it went from 28 to 29 in a week and a half. And I still made money on my contract because I sold it for $250. I bought it back for $150. I still made $100 a contract. I wrote 10 of them. I made $1,000 in a week. And I was wrong on the trade. And then there are those situations where shares do have a nice run. They have a very good run. The market has a good run, whatever reason. And you write contracts for $250, and the underlying shares go up in value faster than depreciation. And the next thing you know, the contracts are $350, $4. What happens then? People go, your friends will say, you're going to lose your stock. That's the big fear. You're going to lose your share. How do you lose you? Someone's going to buy them from you is what's going to happen if you don't do anything. Because your options have an expiry price. They have an exercise price and an expiry date. The exercise price is the one that you decided to write the contract for. So if you're writing $28 contracts when the stock is 26, you're going to get paid $28 a share. Plus you get to keep the premium you brought in the first place. So you brought in $250. That's additional to the 28. You're getting $30.50 a share to be taken out. That's called losing your stock for $30.50 a share. When you wrote the contract, the stock's at 26. You've agreed to be taken out at $30.50, $4.50 higher than where it's trading at right now. That's called losing. All right. Some loss. You get the cash. You turn around immediately. What do? You buy your stock back. It's trading at $29. Buy it back at $29. It's trading at $30. Buy it back at $30. I just got $30.50 for it. I'll buy it back for $30, and now I'll write a $32 contract, good for 2 weeks, for $250. Here we go again. You do that. Otherwise, you could just buy back your call. If it's trading at $3.50, $4, you buy that call back, and you, quote, lose $1 a contract, $1.50 a contract, because you had to buy it back for a higher price than you sold it for. But your stock is up $4 a share. Don't forget that part. But what you're doing now is you're going, okay, I just paid $4.50 for these calls. What do I do now? Well, I'm going to write new calls because the shares are at 28. I'm going to write $30 calls. Now I can get $250 for calls if I write them 2 weeks out, which isn't $4 that I just paid to get these back, but I am up on my stock. On the other hand, I could write longer term contracts that have more time left on them. And that'll bring me more money, because the longer the call has to live, the more valuable it is. So a $30 call that has 1 week to live versus a $30 call that has 3 weeks to live versus 6 weeks to live. The 6 week contract is more valuable than the 3 week, which is more valuable than the 1 week. That's how this game works. Time is money to you. So you might decide, I'll write a $30 call, but I'll write it for a month. I'll bring in $4 for that contract I just paid $4 to get back. And I'm even on this trade. In other words, I took $250 in, paid $4 out, took $4 in. So I still got my $250. I just flipped this $4 trade. I just had to give it more time. Of course, my shares are up $3 a share, $4 a share. That's always good. Now, if the shares just sit here for the next couple of weeks, these $4 contracts are down to $3.50, $3.25, $3. Stock even dips to, $28, $27.50. These go to $2, $1.75, $1.20. You buy them back for $1.50, sold them for $4. You made a profit of $2.50 on the final move over here. Remembering though, you took in $2.50, you turned over the $4 to the $4, and now you're paying $1.25 to get them back. You're actually up $1.25 on your contracts overall, and your stock is still higher because it's trading at 27 and you were at 26. Always be writing. Always be writing. We learn that here, and it sounds complicated, but it isn't. Once you take some classes and hang out with us here, you want to do a one-on-one to get a detailed one-on-one explanation for your portfolio, I'm available. You'll figure it out pretty quickly, and you'll go, I can't believe I didn't know this 15 years ago. I cannot believe it. If I'd known this when I was 26, 34, 38 years of age, 42, if I'd have known this if I know it now. All right, I know it now. Whatever age you are, you know it now. And starting from today, you are changing your life forever. Welcome to the party, pal, because over here at the Nakatomi Tower, we're doing things a little different, but we're actually the good guys. We're actually the good guys. We're not the bad guys. We're the good guys. Ho, ho, ho. Welcome, one and all, to the channel. Stock Markets with Bruce. We try to explain what's going on in plain English and make some money at the same time. The Dow is up 164 points this morning on the pre-market. It's been over 200 today. Hasn't been able to hold it. The S&P is up 20 and the Nasdaq is up 50. We're going nowhere on these markets. We have had 2 weeks of carnage and slippage and whatever you want to call it, but more sellers than buyers lately. And we're going to get more. And unfortunately, no matter what any analyst is trying to tell you, sell you, convince you of, any information you're getting in your emails from your robo advisory entities that you have subscribed to, or you're dealing with banker this and investment firm that and a mutual fund company, blah, 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 ETF. You're getting all of these rosy, this is the time to buy messages, because in reality, you will never, and I mean never, will you receive an email from your investment advisory firm, whoever you're dealing with. I don't care who you have ever dealt with. You will never receive a plain English 1, 2 sentence, 3 sentence alert says sell everything and hold cash only. They never say sell ever. Reallocate, reposition. We're going to reposition our account. We're going to reallocate it. You never hear the word, we're going to sell, ever. And go back through all the quarterly reports you've ever received, annual reports you've ever received from any ETF, hedge fund, pension, whatever you get it from. You never, ever see where they say, this is a good time to get out of everything. Never, ever. What do I talk about? What do I tell you about? I try to train you guys on how to sell a call option. The first move you make when you write an option is you have to sell it first. It's the first move you got to make. It's the hardest move to make. Selling is the hardest thing to do, because if you own a stock that you paid $2 for, and it's now trading at $4, it's hard to let it go. Why? Because it's at $4. It's double. It's a winner. I'm selling a winner. I'm walking away from the party. We're having such a good time. It's kind of like leaving a New Year's Eve party at 12:15. Everyone's having such a good time. We just had all the balloons went up and the fireworks and everyone's kissing everybody. Why are we leaving at 12:15 to 12:30? Because the next 2 hours, the debauchery begins. And it starts to get really ugly. And certain people aren't going to be so nice anymore in the next 20 minutes. Their personalities change dramatically as the night goes on. It's time to go at the height of the party. You always want to do that. Well, hard to sell a stock at $4 when you've just doubled your money and you think you've been told it's going to $6. Hard to do. Well, with options, you have to sell first. If you want to make money writing options, you have to sell first. But you know something that everyone else doesn't seem to get. You're an option writer because you know that because the option expires in the next week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, it only has so many trading days left to live, and then it expires worthless. If the contract that you have written is what we call an out-of-the-money call, ahead of the market, it has no value other than time value. That's all it's got. And every day, time is evaporating. And remember, a typical week has 5 trading days. This week has 4 trading days. So if you write an option today that expires this Friday, it's got 4 days to live. Tomorrow, it's down to 3 days. If you write a contract for next week, Friday, it has 9 days to live instead of 10. And every day now, 1/9 of the value of that contract is leaving. Every day, 1/9 of that contract's value is evaporating into time. Time is your ally when you're an option writer. It's a killer. It kills option gamers like you cannot believe. Option players lose their minds with how options depreciate on them, and they accept it. They know, oh yeah, my option used to be $1.80. It's now 80 cents because it's only got 4 days to live. Tomorrow it'll probably be worth 60 cents. Yeah, I'll probably still have it. I will probably hold it. Why? Because the stock might go up by then. They're expecting the stock to go up by a certain point in time, and they're looking for a leveraged payoff. These are high leverage lottery ticket holders, prepared to take incredible risks to try to get long odds to make money. And every once in a while, they get lucky. And I mean lucky, not necessarily focused and right on the mark. They get lucky. There are option traders out there, I will admit, and I've said it already, that are professionals. They buy contracts at $1, they sell them for $1.20, and they go, I just made 20% of my money, I'm out. Other players buy at $1 and are looking for it to go to $5. They're not in for a measly 20 cents because they only have $200. They bought 2 contracts for $1 a piece, $200. And they want them to go to $5, so they have $1,000. They want to take 200, turn it into 1,000. Professionals buy 100 contracts at $1 and sell them for $1.20, $1.25. They make $2,500 because they have 100 contracts. That's the difference. Certain guys can trade pennies between buy and sell. Others trade for the dollars. Where you come in is you're taking advantage of the dollar long shot wannabe winners. They'll never buy them back. They will ride it out. They will ride it out, and it'll depreciate because the buyers disappear from contracts that are depreciating quickly and are about to be delisted. Because on Friday afternoon, that expiry date hits and that contract has no value, and it disappears into thin air. And if you sold that contract for $1 or $2 and you don't buy it back, at the end of the week, the calls are out of the money. You can keep all the money for that contract. You scored the whole thing. On the other hand, you might find that you sold it today for a week Friday, but a week from today, next Tuesday, you're going to buy the call back for a quarter what you sold it for, because that's all it's worth now. And you're going to go, I made 75% on this. I sold it for $1. I'll buy it back for a quarter. Thank you very much. I'm going to sell another one now. I love making 75 cents on 10 contracts every week, 750 a week, 3,000 a month. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Why wouldn't I keep doing this? It's wonderful. Thank you all for being here, for being just followers of this channel. I mean, if you're brand new, welcome to the show. If you're subscribers, thank you. Please do me one favor, or maybe two. Become a subscriber and hit the thumbs up button every time you come here. Those are the two things they're free. They don't cost you anything. I'd appreciate that very much. Helps the channel. It really does. But those of you who have taken the next step, there are 2 more steps you could take, and that is you could become a Chilling with Uncle Bruce member, so you can comment here all you want, or you become one of these people right up here, a Gold Bagel member of this channel. If you're one of those guys, I thank you very much. You are the backbone of this channel's existence. It's the only reason it's here. The members of this channel keep this channel on the air. Simple as that. Those who take classes, add to it. Those who do one-on-ones, add to it. But the existence of this channel is for one reason and one reason only. There are enough people out there who've made money in this market, writing options, and are making all kinds of money that they never thought they'd make before. They have realized, if I become one of these guys, I get to hang out with this guy every morning before the 8:30 show and on Wednesday night primetime. Yeah, it's worth it to be a Gold Bagel member. I make all kinds of money from this guy. This fee that it costs me to be this member is chump change compared to what I'm returning. Thank you for those of you who've become Gold Bagel members. I appreciate it. We're coming up to 35 minutes to go before showtime. Before I forget, I'm going to shift over to member comment only. Again, becoming a member has its privileges, and I want to again thank so many of you for joining us and being members of this channel. It means the world to myself and Jennifer. We constantly talk about you guys all the time. We just, it's the number one chat around here. Well, number one topic we talk about is, can you believe the change in our lives from a year and 3 quarters ago? Because I started going live on this channel January 2021. And by May, June, I started talking to you people about how to write options to make added income. And by July, August, I had classes up. And here we are now, a year later, 2022, with a whole bunch of folks following us. And it just blows my mind how well some of you folks are doing. And not just some of you, a lot of you folks are doing. I'm very humbled by it. I get reminded time and time again people who have one-on-ones with me, and those of you who send me private messages on my private email account, which is the link is down below, thanking me for doing what I do. They are truly invaluable to us. It keeps me motivated. I got to tell you that. The sincerity of your commentary and whatnot. Some of you send me little criticisms. It's all right. It's okay. If I can be better, I'll try to be better. You'll note, if you're new, this is not a fancy show. I don't have graphs. I don't have quotes all over the place. I'm not in the little box down here or down here or up here or up here. I'm full on. I haven't shaved this morning yet. I haven't shaved. Don't have to. I'm retired. I don't have to shave. It's a low-tech show, but it's plain English speak. And I try to explain to you what the hell is going on out there. And there's a lot going on. First of all, I want to say something else about this market just quickly, because we're about to, are we getting close to opening? I think we are. Look, I want you to understand that there's an energy crisis going on in Europe that is serious stuff. And read a thing this morning talking about how we are possibly an average German household are looking at the possibility of their average utility bill in the winter of $4,000 a month. I'm going to repeat that. All right. Hello. The average German household is facing the possibility, because natural gas prices are so high right now in Europe. Electricity is made with this stuff. People cook with this stuff. Their furnaces are operating on this stuff. Natural gas prices and electricity costs, utility costs in Europe, but in Germany, are running so hot and so fast high that they're being notified by their power companies. Look, we have to increase our prices. We have to give you 60 days notice, 90 days notice, whatever these rules are, all these regulated markets. The average typical German household is possibly looking at $4,000 a month in utility bills. Think about that in your hometown where you live. Can you imagine paying $4,000 a month for electricity, natural gas, your water bill, to run your house or your apartment or your condo? Just kind of let that sink in. And then think about, you're a small business owner. You have a retail store in downtown USA somewhere, downtown Canada somewhere, and your business utility bills are $4,000 or more per month to keep the lights on, to keep the alarm system running, keep water flushing in the back, keep the heat on or the air conditioning on. Just think about that. This is what's happening. This is why you are seeing headlines from Europe saying the German government has passed a $65 billion energy relief plan for its citizens, or the brand new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, the gal who's taking over, $100 to $200 billion energy relief bill is now in the works for UK nationals, UK property owners. We're talking serious stuff here. This is a direct result of the war in Ukraine. Larry, thank you for ringing the bells. We're open. This is serious stuff. And if you don't think this is going to create a recession, think again. You are way off out of reality. This is unbelievable what we're hearing about. The good news in the US and Canada is we're not tied to the Russian oil and gas pipeline system. Got our own. Thank you very much. We have plenty of it. Thank you very much. However, prices in the US and Canada are at very high levels, not like European highs, but they're high. European gas prices are equivalent. There are experts who are predicting it's roughly $550 a barrel right now. You, again, think about that. To produce electricity in Europe using natural gas is like using oil at $550 a barrel. What would your electric bill be like in Oklahoma if you had oil-fired power plants producing electricity at $550 a barrel? Unthinkable carnage. And if that happened in a 6-month window and was going to stick around for 2 years, how many bankruptcies are we talking about? How many foreclosures? How many repossessions are we talking about? How many people be cut off from the supply? It is a serious, serious issue in Western Europe. We're talking Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Denmark, UK, everywhere. This is ugly stuff. And so is the push on to go solar and wind farm? Is that on? Yeah, it's on, baby. It's on big time. You betcha. Every solar panel you put up will take some gas off the system. Of course. How many can you install? How fast can you install them? You can just imagine the rush that is going on over there, and government backing like you cannot believe. But there's a recession on its way in Europe. They're already in it. It's only going to get worse. It's really scary. Anyway, welcome one and all to the show. We're here. We're open. We're up 141 on the Dow right now. Let's take a look at the rest of this market. GameStop right now, 25, was at 25.95, 26.11 right now, down 125. For you GameStoppers out there, take a look at your option trades. Take a look at your option chains. Some of you, I know many of you have written calls that expire this week, next week. Take a look at buying back some of your calls for stink bids, some really cheap prices, because this could be a dip that doesn't last too long. Not that I'm expecting the market to go anywhere. We're up 128 points. I don't expect the Dow to go up 1,000 today. There's no reason for it. But there's not necessarily a reason for GameStop to be off $1.20 right off the get-go either. Yeah, I could go lower. Sure it could. But could it go to 27, 28 again? Yes. So this might be a dip. This might be a little opening morning dip for you to take advantage of. You can thank, unfortunately, Bed Bath & Beyond, the tragedy over there. That stock right now down 96 cents to 767. Why it affects GameStop directly, you tell me. We all kind of have an idea, but Cohen's gone. He's not in there anymore, so it shouldn't, but it does. And of course, the lower AMC goes, the lower GameStop goes, because apparently somehow they're linked. They're not, but the market sentiment, we know. There you have it, okay? That's what we got going on. So you might be looking at a temporary, nice little opening dip here if you can get an option back for a really cheap price. If you are sitting on profits of 60, 65, 70 or more percent, you should be buying back your contracts. Absolutely. You can rewrite them later today, either the exact same ones or contracts with a different strike price for a different expiry date. But if you're sitting on some really nice profits of that caliber because of what happened this morning, I would be taking advantage of it. All right. Thank you all for being here. What else is going on? People are asking people questions. It's great. Thank you all for being here. Nice to have you here. Thank you, Hawkeye, for a thumbs up 167. We have right now 173 thumbs ups, now 174. Please help us out if you can. Hit that thumbs up button for us and get us over 200 ASAP. We love hitting 200 thumbs ups around the opening if we can. Thank you so much. Alberto, I have been doing, as per Goyote suggested, keeping an Excel spreadsheet. I have to admit, I didn't even know the amount I was making until this. Uncle is the GOAT. Thank you, sir. Welcome. Let's see, Karim, you should consider making this an intro video and pin it to the description. Then just reference the video real quick for new viewers. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, man says, Alex, I got a few options expiring Friday. I'm going to watch them bleed out through the week. There you go. Thank you all for being here. Way to go, you guys, on making money. Alex is saying, Alberto, no, you didn't miss anything. I was just saying I watched class number 13 again to fill in the usual Uncle Bruce slot. Right on. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you. What else have we got going on here? You have any questions on your option trades? Let me know. We'll see what we can do. Thank you guys for being here. So appreciate it. Great to see you all. We've got a quick recap where we're at right now. The market itself, the Dow is up 106 points, and that's it. 106. We're up 9.4 on the S&P 500. We're up 5.5 on NASDAQ. We're not going anywhere. And we've got the oil up 97 cents to 87.84. I think it was down $2 in Brent crude this morning. We have Apple up 62 cents, very weak and quiet opening. GameStop at 26.39, down 97. SoFi down 7 cents to 5.66. Rocket Lab down a penny to 5.32. We got HPQ up 20 cents to 27.84. AMC down 31. Ape shares down up 26, so they're down 5 cents combined. ME up 11, 322. Matterport down 1 penny. ATIP looks like it's unchanged at 93.6 cents. We've got Smart Rent up 2.5 cents to 294.5. Spire unchanged at 131. Cyxtera down a nickel, 563. Bed Bath Beyond down 116 to 747. Tesla up $1. Pfizer up 7. Boeing up $2. Cisco up 8 cents. Twitter down 3, Home Depot down 24, Carvana down 75 cents, Robinhood up 3, Avantic Vectors down 12, IBM down 4 cents, Microsoft up 70, Goldman up 70 or so, Google down 29, Amazon down a nickel, the old Facebook, Meta Platforms up 39 cents, BlackBerry down 7, Royal Caribbean up 92 cents to 41.92. Target down 138. JP Morgan up 56 cents. Costco down 6. Walmart down 82. Nvidia down $1.12. Disney up 20 cents. We've got American Airlines up 17 cents to 13.16. Netflix down 3.50 to 2.22. Moderna down 4.77 to 133.80 at the moment. There's where we are. First thing, whatever's up is up fractionally. Like not even $1. We're up 71 on the Dow right now, 21 cents on Apple. GameStop down 95 to 26.41. Now, GameStop's range so far this morning on our opening, 25.58 was the first few moments of the opening. 26.70 was the high about 5 minutes ago, and we're at 26.37. And we're just, we're not going very far here at the moment. A volume on the day for GameStop, 923,000 at the moment. So about 220,000 shares as the opening trade. Nothing great there. Not a lot of buying power coming in at this point. Lame Duck, I am 172 thumbs up. Right on. Thank you. Nick is saying I'm shorting some stocks here. ENPH, FL, Snow, TOL, I'm shorting them again. Lorraine, I am 174. And Leonard, I am thumbs up 181. You guys are getting me to 200 real quick. 186 here are in now. I need 14 thumbs ups to reach 200. If 14 of you out there who are listening or watching, if you are able to find that thumbs up button and nail that thing for us, we could break 200 here any minute now. 8 to go. We're at 192 now. Look at that. 192 are in. Now 195. I need 5 thumbs ups to break 200. Thank you, everybody, helping me out. 3 to go. 197 down. 3 left. And I feel them coming. They're coming, baby. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for these thumbs ups, everybody. Really appreciate it. Getting us over 200 early this morning. There it is. Number 200 has just been registered. Thank you all. Really, I mean, a 204 already. Here we go. Fun morning so far, says Coyote. Tiff, Uncle Bruce, last Thursday, I wrote 3 Hewlett-Packard HPQ $29 calls that had 2 weeks left to live. I bought them back with a $90 profit on Friday. Immediately wrote 3 September 9s, 2750s for 64 cents a piece. Right there. And HPQ is at 27.79, only up 15 cents. So these 2750s have a book value of 29 cents, being at 27.79, and they die in 3 days, 4 days. So right on, Tiff. Any dip today, and these contracts will dip as well. I mean, you're right there. I think, like I was saying earlier, we were a little higher at 28.67. Now we're at 27.79. It's already backing off. If my numbers are correct on my machine here, I'm just waiting for the upload. Way to go, Tiff. You're learning how to make money on this option market. Well done. Wing Commander here. I'm checking in from the road to drop a like. Had a great one-on-one on Sunday, Uncle Bruce. Now I really understand how stink bids work. Definitely going to become a repeat offender on those one-on-ones. Right on. Stink bids save lives, my friend. Stink bids and stink offers. You got to learn this, kids. Check the classes on this. Wing Commander, did I miss anything? Not yet. Nick, on my Foot Locker short, I'm up $7,500 already. Nick, you are the man, buddy. Way to do that. Way to score some returns. Gotta love that. We're up only 19 on the Dow. We are definitely heading negative. We're negative on NASDAQ now. We're down 12. It's gone red already. That lasted, the green market on NASDAQ lasted 12 minutes. That's how fast it backed off. The Dow's up 19 and it's falling. The S&P is only up 5. So we're headed for red territory here. Looks like at the moment, this Labor Day break, people wanted out on Friday and they got out, and few got in this morning, and now we're coming in with more selling. Breaking news on Bed Bath & Beyond. They're naming an interim CFO. Laura Crossan is the interim CFO. She's been with the struggling retail for more than 20 years and was recently promoted to chief accounting officer when her predecessor in that role resigned in June. It's just a sad story over there at Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't want to sound mean or anything, but so many of these moves are self-inflicted moves. This company had the wrong leadership for the longest time with the wrong objectives. They read the market wrong, or they missed the direction they should have been going. COVID was tough on everybody, no doubt about it. Supply chain, tough on everybody. But these guys have really misread the entire sector of which they used to be a very serious company. They were once a $17 billion organization. $17 billion market cap company, Bed Bath & Beyond. Today, $595 million market cap. That's all they're worth. And that's at $7.45 a share, assuming they're going to recover. I am not assuming a straight line recovery. I'm assuming continued weakness because they've got the wrong inventory at the wrong time for the wrong demand. And it is just a sad story all around everywhere. And, they're doing what they have to do. Yes, you bring in an interim CFO, of course, from within, even better, because at least you have someone in-house. They'll make some shit. They'll shift people around now. They'll be the musical chairs, but it's like a new violin player in the orchestra on the Titanic. This thing is tilting, and it's not going to correct. I don't see it correcting in its present state. The company's future, in my opinion, is a reorganization as a private concern, whether it disappears from existence as a public company, whether it gets reorganized, whether a buyer comes in and buys the company 6 months from now for pennies per share. If it craps right out, it's not pretty. I can tell you that. It's not going to be pretty. Christmas is not saving this company. Not a chance as well. Okay, let's keep going here. What is going on? What's going on? Pukeburb is asking, I'm watching GTLB since the IPO in October 2021. I'm familiar with the product and the space it's in, but I have no idea how to value a company that isn't profitable. How do I value an unprofitable stock? Oh man, is it worth your while to do this? Is maybe the real question to ask. Is it really worth your while to even bother? GTLB. Sometimes you just have to, move on and head elsewhere. there are certain times where you've got to throw in the towel if it's not delivering. I mean, the high and low for this stock, 137 for the high, 30.74 for the low. It's at 48.09 right now. No earnings. $7.1 billion market cap. The company's called GitLab. They provide code hosting and collaboration platform services, offers continuous integration, source code management, out-of-the-box pipelines, agile development, and value stream management. I have no idea what half of that means, and I'm a YouTuber. I'm supposedly supposed to know this stuff. No idea, man. I honestly don't know. Look, their earnings are up. There's like sales revenue. In 2020 they had 81 million in sales. 2021 152 million. 2022 252 million in sales. Okay. They had gross income, but then they have expenses and their losses. Net income 130 million in 3 years ago, 192, and now 155. So they're still growing. They're growing, but they're not yet profitable. And so the question is, when, how, what? Sometimes you get off the bus and get on the bus later at a different stop. Maybe the next time it comes around, the fare to get on the bus next time is cheaper. I don't know. Again, I can't give you an answer to this one. I can't. I'm not the expert in this field, this business, this entity, this stock. I don't follow it. And so I'm not able to help you there. If you're an option writer, you're an option writer on it. And if it brings you income, if you can, if you can bring income in on those shares to help compensate any losses on the trading of the stock, okay. But I have no idea. Not sure what to tell you. Okay. Wing Commander saying the bid asks are pretty weird on some of these shares, on these contracts. I understand that. Watch for that. 207, 208 thumbs ups. Thank you, guys. Susan shops around LL. Thank you. Susan was saying last year, such high hopes for Bed Bath & Beyond. I remember good news back then. It was bringing in top brass from Williams-Sonoma for a turnaround. Yeah. Splair, somehow I feel bad about it that my BBY put that I bought today is in the green, but we're small investors and we need the money from the gamblers. It's business, Susan. Bed Bath Beyond problems, like all retailers, is and has been the fact that most of the merchandise could be found at Home Goods, Marshalls, TJ Maxx for much less. DH Ruta, you shouldn't feel bad. You bought a product someone was selling. There it is. Look, you make money and you move on. I don't know what the downside is from here. If any of you make trades on BBBY and you're up on it, cash in, move on. I've been telling all of you to avoid it. Just avoid this stock, because some of you will want to go long. You're going to want to try to catch a wave on the upside, and I don't see one. But I know what will happen. If there is one, people will say to me, you should have told us to buy this. It is the way it is. All right. 214 thumbs ups, everyone. Thank you very much. Make money writing calls. That's what I suggest. Make money writing calls. In this early trading range at 21 minutes in, we have the Dow right now down 71 points. We've gone negative on the Dow. We're red everywhere. We're down 8.5 on S&P. We're now NASDAQ down 45. Oil is holding a 47-cent gain at the moment. That's it. So we're red everywhere. Apple down 40 cents. GameStop down $1.04. SoFi off 11, Rocket Lab down 5, HPQ down 12, AMC down 39, Apes are up 21. So that's an 18-cent drop over there on AMC. ME up 16 cents, Matterport down 2.5. ATIP at 94.8, up 1.3 cents, holding a bit of a gain. SmartRent up 1.5, Spire up 1/10 of a penny, Cyxtera up 2. But Bed Bath Beyond down 132. Tesla holding a 46-cent gain, but that's all. Pfizer up 47 cents to 46.14. Boeing up 32 cents only. Cisco down 16, Twitter down 3, Home Depot down 276. We've got a lot of red here on these larger issues. Carvana down 64 cents to 30.94. Vanik down 71. IBM 66 lower. Microsoft down 34. Goldman down 420. Google down 79. Amazon down 128. We got some definite red coming up here on this market. Down 78 on the Dow now. And there we have that dead cat bounce is what we had this morning to start the day. Keep an eye on your GameStop. If the dip is in the 25s, you might want to look at cashing in some gains and then just stick around and wait for your next moment to strike. Could be 2 hours later this afternoon. See what's going on. All right. Thank you, everybody. Christina, my 2850s are 48% for GameStop that expire this Friday. So I wait or I cash out. So you're up 48%, I'm assuming, on your 2850. That's what you're trying to say to me. 2623 is where we have the shares. Let me take a look at this. 2624. The high was 2672. And we seem to be slumping just a little right now as the market is off 104 on the Dow. So if the Dow continues to slump and GameStop pushes below 26, Christina's calls will be more than 48% in the money. She'll likely be 55% in the money, maybe a bit more. And at that point, she might consider a buyback to lock in a nice little gain and then cross her arms and perhaps write with any kind of a 20, 50, 75 cent recovery, if there is one later today, she might rewrite these 2850s either for this Friday or for next Friday or whatever. She's going to decide how she wants to play this. But right now, she's in the sweet spot because she's 222 out of the money. It dies Friday. The market is lower by 121 now on the Dow. We're off 14 on S&P and 63 on the NASDAQ. So we're definitely backing off. And so she's got options and choices that are good ones. Jen Doe, general question. When it comes to setting yourself up for life, where do you point young adults? Dave Ramsey, then Uncle Bruce, or can you give good general advice too? Well, look, having a solid education, but in your back pocket always comes in handy. Gaining experience in whatever it is you do will suit you well down the road. I took the attitude when I was a kid, and I was, I had a tough time my first, until I was about 12 or 13. I had a tough time, maybe even up until I was 15, because my father was he was a mover. My parents moved a lot, and so we uprooted our home again and again and again. And so I would start a new school almost every year or two, and I had a tough time with that. But the one thing that I bought into, and my father helped me figure it out, or at least whatever he said, it sunk in and stuck. But learn from your elders. There's free advice everywhere for how to live your life and how to make yourself, valuable and better and smarter and what have you. And the advice from elders can be priceless. And sometimes the smartest thing to do, the best way to learn, is to shut up and just listen. Don't talk, just absorb. And so I had the pure, distinct advantage as a child to help my dad out when he had his music store, his retail music instrument store. And I started in there helping him out in 1965. I was 9-10 years old. And the first jobs I had in that store was throw out the garbage, vacuum the floor, dust, use Windex on the glass counters and clean off the fingerprints, empty the ashtrays. You remember, those of you who aren't my age, You've never had this experience. Empty the ashtrays in the music store. There were ashtrays. There were probably 6 ashtrays in the store for customers to use and staff to use. And I had to not only clean them, I had to wash them and then clean them. I mean, spotless. This is a retail store, and retail stores were spotless. Mom and pop retail stores were without a speck of dirt anywhere. I mean, people walked in and you wanted to hear the reaction. Oh, what a nice store this is. That's the first thing you wanted to hear as an employee owner. And so, yeah, clean the ashtrays out, vacuum the floor, dust and Windex the counter, and then shut up and listen. And that's the thing that really helped me. I was a fly on the wall in a music store where my dad was the owner. He had a manager who was about 28 years old, 30 years old. So I heard my father's concerns, who was in his later 30s, his manager, who was in his late 20s, and then the customers that were anywhere from 15 to 40 years of age on average. And I got to listen to these people talk to each other about whatever was being talked about. At first, it would be business, retail, whatever, music store, whatever, and then just life itself. And the politics of the day, rumors about town, whatever. And my job was to listen and observe and don't get in the way, because you have a job to do and you do your job and then stay off to the side. And I loved it. I loved it because I heard stuff none of my friends ever heard. My buddies who were 9, 10, 11 years of age, they didn't hear what I heard. Every Saturday or every second Saturday, driving with my dad to the store, and then driving back from the store, which was an hour and a half because we lived on the other side of Toronto, listening to my father talk about the day. And I could ask him questions about, well, this one guy came in asking about blah, blah, blah. What did he mean by that? And then he would tell me. And talk about an adult conversation with an adult. All my youth, man, was he a source of invaluable information. And he helped me to understand the world in which I was in, to give me the grown-up picture. Okay, kid, we're going to take you out of your body and lift you up and have you look down on the world in which you're at. And then we're going to do it from a higher elevation and a higher elevation and a higher elevation. So you're going to look at the store, the people in the store, the stores around the store, the city around the store, the community around the city, the province that we're in, the country we're in, and the world we're in. And as a 9, 10-year-old, there was no school teacher that existed until grade 4 that I had for 1 year who was like anything like that, like even close. The next teacher I had that was anything like that teacher or my father was in grades 7 and 8. I had one guy. And then I had one guy in grade 10 that was kind of like that. I had very few inspirers in my life outside of my father. It was incredible. And then, of course, as I grew up and I turned 18, 19, 20, I became self-aware and self-motivated to learn and understand and learn how to learn. And so for my advice for the young, believe it or not, as corny as it sounds, hang out with your elders. Many of you do not realize the treasure trove of knowledge that is available to you from people you may have dismissed over the years, or you've shut out from your lives, or you tend not to want to be with, or you shut them off when you were a teenager in your 20s, your rebellious years. And the hope is that a Will Smith dope slap has come your way and you've realized, oh my God, I'm surrounded by people who know so much more than I'll ever know. I should be sucking in this knowledge from these people. and they will welcome you into their world, even if there have been rocky times in the past. They sense the turnaround, and they're more than happy to, now if they're vindictive, it doesn't help. Then it's impossible. But if they're open-minded and they realize, oh wow, you really want to understand this stuff, I'm more than happy to talk to you about it. But it's a two-way street. Respect. I was so lucky, so fortunate that that I was in the position I was in, grew up in the house I grew up in, had the parent I had. I was a terrible student in school. Terrible. There was no motivation. I had very small pockets of motivation in school, very small. And it took until my college years where I really became the acquirer of knowledge. And when I wanted to become a stockbroker, I mean, I was up against the longest of odds to get hired by any firm with no background in finance. If my dad had been a banker, it would have helped, but he wasn't. He was a retailer, and stockbrokers looked at mom and pop shops as little nickel and dime operators. There was no respect there for these people. To their detriment, they probably didn't hire a lot of kids who were children of entrepreneurs that they should have hired. And many qualified people who could have become incredibly great financial advisors in the 70s and the 80s were passed over simply because you went to university, but you didn't go to the right school. You went to college, university, but you don't have the right degree. Your background in since high school just doesn't lead us to believe you have an interest in this profession. You're just here for a job. Again, it's the way of the world. So many people have been passed over, and so many very successful people in other industries were passed over until they got to the point where they said, well, the hell with that. If I can't join your firm, I'm going to join another firm, and I'm going to bury your firm. And how many times have we heard that, read that, seen that, and witnessed that through movies and books and what have you? It's how bad you want it. But look, for the young, suck every bit of information out of everyone you can get it from, but start with the elders and go for the oldest first. Go after your grandparents. They're only here for a limited time. It's a limited time offer. Grandparents and parents are here for a limited time only. It might seem like a lifetime to you while they're around, but when they're gone forever. And boy, do you miss them then. And would I love to talk to my dad today, 22 years after his passing, about his world from the 50s, the 40s, the 60s, when he was in his prime years? Oh, I'd kill for that. Can't. He's gone. And my father-in-law, who passed at age 84, a wonderful life. He's gone now 14 years. 14 years gone. Wealth of information. I got out of him so much, and he willingly just wanted to. I was one of the only young guys who wanted to talk to him. Nobody wanted to talk to this guy anymore. All of his contemporaries had died of old age. Here he was in his 80s, and nobody was talking to him, except for nurses and caregivers. You want some more chicken noodle soup, sir? I'm asking him about the politics of the 60s, and he'd just light up. Oh, he'd just light up, and stuff would come out. Stuff I never read about, stuff I could verify it, but I'd never been taught this in school. That's what I would recommend to kids. Just one piece of advice, I guess. I just want to catch some dollars for the withdrawal fees. Alberto, get that dinero. Michael Downs, thank you for becoming a new member of this channel. Chilling with Uncle Bruce member. Welcome, sir. Welcome back, I guess. Renewing the membership. I love it, man. Trucker Tech. Uncle Bruce, I wrote 6 GameStop 25 strikes last Friday. They expire this Friday. 25% profit so far. Should I lock in or wait? We're at 25.67 and dropping. Put in a stink bid for a 45, 55, 60% gain, perhaps. They're coming your way. Grab this. It's beautiful. We're down 215 on the Dow. Keep an eye on that too. I get it. I grew up in my grandfather's dive bar. I know all about the ashtrays, unfortunately. Susan, Bruce, this downward trend, this downtrend, which is headed lower, possibly another 30%. Our economy has no chance of expanding. Covered calls for premium, no good if market sudden drops. So what protective puts do we do? Just keep writing calls, Susan. Just keep writing and writing and writing and writing. Forget about puts. Keep writing calls. Don't stop writing calls. Out of the money, premium, write them. Just don't stop. This market will level off and then creator and hang around, and you will keep bringing money in on these depreciating calls week after week after week after week after week, and you can just add it up. You'll just keep a spreadsheet, and you'll just go, just keep doing this. Just keep doing it. Bobby, ashtrays reminds me. A month ago, I went for breakfast in Belleville, Ontario. This restaurant was on in Indian land. It still had smoking in the dining area. Every table but ours had someone smoking. Oh my God. Alberto, Jen, I took a one-on-one with Uncle for general questions. His advice was spot on. He has set me free. Let's go. ME says LL. Christina, bottom back for 82 cents. I'm assuming, or I'm guessing bottom back for 82, sold for 199. There you go. Right on. Right on, Christina. Nazareth, Alberto, Uncle Bruce is the Morpheus of our world. I've had one-on-ones. I have to admit, yes, I have had one-on-ones where, for an hour, people have wanted to talk to me 10 minutes about their accounts and what they're doing and what's going on. And then the remainder of our time is just, talk to me about this, talk to me about that. I have a question about this, I have a question about that. Sometimes it's career advice. People ask me, I'm doing this. What are your thoughts? Or what are my options? So what could I do? Or my wife and I this is our situation. We want you to understand our situation. Now, this is the kind of stuff that stockbrokers used to do, okay? Your stockbroker, if they were any good at all, were far more than just, I got a hot tip for you. You should buy this. Those weren't stockbrokers. Those were tipsters. Those are guys that were in the business for 2 years and got blown out with their clientele and were never heard from again. The guys and girls that lasted as financial advisors in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, who had 30-year careers, 40-year careers, they were like the family doctor. You had the same family doctor the entire time. You would usually outlive your doctor, because you got your doctor when the doctor was in the 40s and you were in teens. And by the time you were in your 40s, your doctor was in the 80s and you were sorry to see him go and you had to get another one. Stockbrokers, the same thing. Stockbrokers that were any good whatsoever were psychological masters. They kept their clients calm, cool, collected, and they helped them with endless referrals and ideas. And I remember I had a real estate broker who would be a client of mine. And then I'd have another client of mine who wanted to sell his house. Guess what? I tell my client over here to talk to this client over there, because this is a real estate guy. This is someone who's going into the real estate market. They want to be looked after, and I'm in the middle. And this realtor is saying to me, I'll never screw one of my clients because I've been in the business 30 years. I don't screw my clients. And I have a client who I don't want to see go the wrong way. And now I put one and one together. And guess what? It works out. I'd have accountants who were clients of mine. I'd have lawyers who were accounts of mine. I had oil and gas engineers. I had presidents of publicly traded companies. I had all these people. And there were times to make introductions. This is what brokers did. And there would be times I'd be talking to a client who would say to me, yeah, I just found out that an entire division in our company is being let go. And we're reorganizing the firm, and I'm not sure what's going to happen to me. And so now we would be talking every day, get together for a coffee maybe sometime during the day or after the market. Come on over to the office and let's hang out, or I'll meet you in your office, or we'll meet somewhere we can talk anonymously, and let's go over stuff. And there would be times where I'd have clients who got laid off. They got let go, furloughed. and I'd help them find another gig. I mean, I'm motivated as their broker to keep them working because I don't want them to drain their savings. That's what I'm managing, you know. This is what we used to do, people management. And so there were many a time where I would hear details of people's lives far above and beyond the financial. And I would do the best I can to guide them in the right direction. And as I've gotten older and older and older, now I'm a different person now than I was in my brokerage days when I was in my late 20s and 30s and 40s. 60, coming up to 67, it's a different perspective that I have today. And for some of you, it might work. For some of you, it might not. But yeah, I do have people who will hit me up for a 1-hour session and say, I want to talk about 2 things today. I want to talk about my trading, and then I want to talk about this. And this over here is a family thing, and it's complicated. It's going to take me 15 minutes to explain it to you. And then I need you to give me an idea, because I need an outside opinion. And I don't want to talk to any relative that I'm going to bump into at Thanksgiving or at Christmas time or on someone's birthday. I don't want anyone in the family to know that these are my concerns, because it's a complicated scenario. And so I am used as a sounding board and as an advice machine as well. And if it helps, I'm happy. And if it helps any of you to give you a perspective from the outside, which is what you're after, you're looking for someone to, can you tell me what you think? You don't know all of my relatives. You don't know my brothers and sisters, and you don't know my cousins, and you don't know my former bosses and everything I've ever done. And I've given you a window to look into, and I'm showing you what you can look at. What do you react? What are your reaction on that? That's what you want. I'm happy to do it. If I'm able to help, I'm happy to do it. So yeah, if you want to do one-on-one, let me know, guys. Susan Shops about Bruce, don't be too hard on yourself by not being a good student. The C students typically end up doing financially better than the A students. C's have all important social skills. I can tell you right now, I know that. This comment right here, it occurred to me. It hit me right between the eyes when I was in college and shortly after. I've never felt really too sorry for myself. There have been times where I thought about my youth and went, oh yeah, it's too bad that didn't happen. That didn't happen. But it was the way it was. And it's what you do with it. It's what you do with the adversity that separates you from whether you're a winner or a loser. And I had friends of mine that had everything given to them on a silver platter. Everything. They had the right demographic they were brought up in. They lived in the right household. They had opportunity for university education. They took it or they didn't. They had opportunity for employment during the summertime that was just handed to them on a silver platter. They had relatives or friends or family members that could get them a job right away and whatever. Yeah. And then there were the rest of us who were, whatever we were. And in my dad's case, I could have worked with him. I could have just been in the music store with him and managed it eventually and taken it over and all that stuff. We all had our paths to go down. But as I figured out where I fit in and where I was, I then realized, okay, well, you're not a chosen one. You're not in the high demographic. Your parents are not in the upper realm of Canadian business. They're not in the upper realm of Canadian politics. They're not in the upper realm of, my dad isn't a lawyer. He doesn't know judges, all this kind of stuff. So I figured out where I wasn't. And I figured out where I was. And then I began to understand, well, where do you want to be? And how are you going to get there? And so the journey began. And there's, winning years and losing years and good decisions, bad decisions, and you move on and you never stop moving forward. And still moving forward. Here I am, still moving forward. It's incredible. Spread, that was really golden thing to mention that we learned a lot from our elders. Gowdy, 25.55, failed. GameStop, 25.25, down to 11. Another 100 GameStop. Nazareth, 100% says Alberto. Christina, I bought the 10-7 $29 back for 201 that I sold Thursday for 320. 19 calls on that. Right on, Christina. Now I'm ready to write right on. Nick, I covered all my shorts on FLTOL, ENPH, Snowflake. Can anyone guess my profits on the day here? Pinky, $1 million. Nick, love that. Flint, you still make referrals, and I, for one, am grateful to you for it. There you go. There you go. Buy some soap from Flint Creek Soap Company. Check them out on the web. The world is an amazing place, and sometimes you have good years, bad years, good days, bad days. But at the end of the day, you got to get up, and you got to get dressed, and you got to wash your face and brush your teeth and comb whatever hell hair you got left, and keep on going. And hang out with who makes you happy and avoid who doesn't, and kind of go from there. And that's it. Play your game plan and grow from there. Look at the Dow down 240 now, just dropping. Down 32 on S&P, 141 on NASDAQ, oil down 7 cents now. What can I say? Nick, I am up 14,700. The day ain't over. That's right, my friend. Way to go, buddy. Coyote, that's disgusting. Well, he's playing with a few extra dollars that we don't have, but Nick, way to go, pal. Congrats. You motivate a lot of my viewers, and I appreciate you being here. I'm glad you're part of the family here, and keep up the good work, man. Just keep it going. Exciting stuff, isn't it? Apple down 176, GameStop down 219 to 25.17, SoFi down 12, Rocket Lab down 3, HPQ down 34. Those HPQ calls are falling again. AMC down 57. Ape up 2. That's a 55-cent drop today. Yuck. Okay. 1331 seems to be the value now, if I got my math right. ME up 26 to 337. Go ME, go. Please discover a new drug. Please find something big. Please find something really, really good. Please. 920,000 traded. Keep going, ME. Matterport down 7. ATIP, keep going, up to 2.4 cents at 96. Keep going. Smart Rent up 7.5. Spire down a half a penny. Cyxtera up 3. Welcome all to the show and to the party. Thank you all for being part of this channel. I hope you're finding it helpful, useful, inspiring, everything else. We are watching the markets closely, trying to figure out what's going on. We're trying to figure out how we can make money in this bear market. There are option writers here who are doing rather well, whether it's with one contract or 2 or 3 or 17 or 48 or 100 contracts. It's the same trade. It's just a matter of how many contracts you're dealing with. The really big revelation on this channel that's happening, and I'm going to make more videos about this, more classes about this. I'm going to be bringing classes out to really help you guys understand a lot more of the psychology of the trading, on how to pull the trigger and when and what, to understand what option to write under what circumstances. I'm going to really get into what a lot of you keep asking me about, and that is poor man covered call writing. So much more to understand there. There's so much upside on that area, but there's also things to look out for as an option writer when you are a poor man covered call option writer. I'm going to get into more of this. Sometimes my lessons focus in on, well, here's how to make a bunch of money. But sometimes I'll bring classes in that'll say, I'll show you that, but I'll also show you how to avoid losing a bunch of money and how to avoid certain pitfalls. This is coming. So lesson number 14 is coming up. Not too far from now, but give me a little more time to formulate it, and then I'll let you know when we're ready to present it. And those of you who would like to be part of that class, we'll give you the option to do that. Of course, the Gold Bagel members and the Chilling with Uncle Bruce members, they get first dibs at coming to the class live, because members, it has its privileges. Once we've given them an opportunity, then we open it up to the floor, and anybody who wants to be part of the live audience, we'll give you the heads up on that and let you know on it. And then from there, we'll put the video up. The edited class will be edited. The class will be edited session, I guess, and it'll be available on the website for anyone to get. Of course, if you come into the class live, you will receive a copy of the completed class as your gift, as an added bonus to being a member, of course, of the audience. And away we go. So thank you all for all your support and encouragement and just being here. Love it. Credit Savage, good afternoon or good morning, my fellow simpletons and degenerates. Hope everyone's doing well today and staying mentally healthy. Remember, it's just money. You can make it again and again, but you can't make your health. So yes, let's go. Make money right there. Anyway, there you go. Thank you all. Nice to see you here. Appreciate it. Keep up the good work, everybody. Make yourself some dough. We're down 205 on the Dow, or 209 on the Dow right now. Oh, 220, down again. 170 lower on the Apple. GameStop at 25.35. The low of the day on GameStop has been 25.12. That's the deal there. And we're down right now to 25.37, down 199 a share is what we seem to be off at the moment. The volume on GameStop this morning, 2.2 million, 550,000 pre-split, not great. So hence why we're lower at this point. But again, those of you who are scoring 50, 60, 70, 80% profits on options you've written in the last week or two, take those and then get ready to rewrite a new set of calls for much higher premiums all over again, either for this Friday or next Friday, but make sure that you're writing just out of the money calls to take in nothing but time premium, maximize time premium. That is your secret weapon right there, okay? Thank you all for that. Those of you writing HPQ calls, same thing. If you're making some really nice percentage returns today on your HPQs, you've got stink bids out there and you're getting hit on these, get ready to reload with 28s, 29s, whatever, a week or two out, 3 weeks out, bring in some premiums, but time premiums, all time premium. Good job, everybody. We're going to keep an eye on these other stocks. Hopefully some of our SPACs will run into some decent numbers here. In the meantime, if you're writing options on IBM, Microsoft, Goldman Sachs, Google, Amazon, any of these guys, definitely keep your eyes open for opportunities there. Cisco, Pfizer, again, the same thing. You're looking for pullbacks where the options are so cheap that you're only going to make a few more dimes after having made the dollars. Take the dollars and move on to another series of calls. It just is worth your time to do so. The Credit Savage, Uncle Bruce, a month or so ago, I sold some Lucid January 23, 1750 calls for $450 each. And on today's wonderful red news, I put in a stink bid to buy him back at 151. I say a 66% return, not a bad thing. I agree with that. Absolutely. Nazareth, I had 38, 30, I think these are $30 strikes for September 16th. I rolled it at a 50% profit, and then I rolled it to a $25 strike, 9/16 date for an additional $283 a share. I'm going to take that too. A beautiful job. I made already $20 on puts today. Enjoyable start into the week. Even small investors like Splair are making money. Something wrong with that? Nothing whatsoever wrong. Make the dough, people. Take the money off the table. 202-point loss on the Dow. We were up 150, 200 on the pre-market. Couldn't hold it. We were up on the S&P. We're up on NASDAQ. They're all in the red right now. The losing index is the NASDAQ, down 1.15%, 132-point loss. The S&P is down 0.7. It's a 27-point loss. The Dow down 185 at the moment, 0.59% loss. So it's red on the markets with a bit of a fluctuation going on, but it is red. The oil market is off just 2 cents. We were up a little bit. We're down a couple of bucks on the Brent price overseas. It's awful. Interest rates are expected to go higher in the UK. They're definitely going higher in the United States. Mortgages are going to hit new highs within the next couple of weeks. Do not be surprised to start noticing more and more mortgages in the 6 to 7% range, just as a matter of regularity. Just get ready for it. This is going to limit price increases or hold off prices, or maybe even drop real estate prices in certain markets, especially the overheated ones. Definitely coming. The other thing that's coming are higher energy costs to maintain air conditioning or heat in these larger units. And this is going to create a problem for this middle class, upper middle class segment of America, Canada, where homes are going to run 50% more expensive to hang on to and operate. This is going to change the landscape of real estate. A lot of folks who moved up into a larger property during COVID because they want to work from home and they wanted a home office and this kind of thing, these folks are going to begin to realize they may have moved too far too fast. And they're going to realize that, a year from now, their 2 3/4% mortgage is going to be rolled into a 6.5% to 7% mortgage. That, coupled with the higher utility costs, natural gas, whatever, might start convincing this group, the segment that's doing well, to preventatively make a move now or soon, shortly, to back off into a smaller property that's more efficient for their needs. You might just find people deciding, you know what, I'm going to dump the 2,800 square foot house we bought, and we're going to look for a 2,100 square foot house, an 1,800 foot place. Maybe we're out of a house of 2,800 feet, and we're into a condo of 1,500 feet, 3 bedrooms, and we're going to take one of them and make it the office. That might be the reality, because the cost of operating and homeowners and taxes, coupled with the financing, might just be the right move. Again, I'm just guessing on this, but I think I'm right. I think I'm going to be right on this move. There's going to be downsizing going on. There's going to be realigning going on. And there are going to be those who bought stupidly. They bought at the market real estate. They paid the asking price thinking they were in a bidding war when they really may not have been. And some folks out there paid anywhere from $50,000 to $150,000 too much for a property that in 6 short months, 1 short year, has backed off, and they realized all around them that everyone else is now selling real estate at $100,000 less than they bought at. And this is going to create issues, definitely issues, especially at refinance time, because the banker will say, I need an appraisal on your whatever, and you had 20% down at the time you bought, but the house has gone down on you since then. You are only at 8% equity. I need you to be at 20% equity. I need 12% more cash to carry this loan. And there are going to be some people who are going to say, I can come up with it, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to sell, and I'm going to take the hit, and I'm going to move on. And we'll have to see how this all plays out. Like I said, there's a lot of adjusting coming up. All right. What else is going on here? Bobby, all right, wrote the 26.5 HPQ for this Friday for 95 cents. I got the buyout set at 46 cents. I'm crossing my arms right now. It's cross arm time. Nick Nazareth, always take the money when market is giving it to you. I learned the lesson the hard way. I could have made a lot more today, but greed. You got to be careful with greed. Don't be over greedy. The Dow now only down 133. We were down 233 not that long ago. Got to watch these swings. Apple down 118. GameStop down 184 to 25.52. The low of the day for GameStop has been 25.12 or so. I think it's been the low. 25.50 right now. 25.12 is the low of the day on GameStop. And Christina scored another GameStop leap, a $20 call for January 2024. I got it for $11.95. The bid was $12.15. I walked it up from $11.20, and I got a fill. So picking up a $20 call on GameStop. That's still expensive though. You're paying $11.95 on top of a $20 Sprite. That's $31.95 on a $25 stock or $25.50. That's a bit rich. I would be more in the $8 neighborhood than $11.95. But look, you're going to write on it and write on it and write on it, and you've got till Jan 24. So take some cash out of there. But if you find that in the next in the next week or two, if the shares kind of recover into the 28, 29 level, and these go to 13, 14, you may want to flip them and then wait on the sidelines for a 90-10 ratio contract, which is in the classes I keep talking about. How to do that. Michael, is that why Bank of America is giving people no down payment mortgages to create bag holders? Honestly, Michael, I don't get it. I don't understand what's happening here, why, how, and what the details are. There's got to be something more to just a zero down payment deal. There has to be something else. I haven't had time to look into it. I'm not an American. I would never be able to take advantage of anything like that. I would never be motivated to. But there's got to be something more to this deal than just this headline about a zero down mortgage. There's got to be more. Credit Savage, that's cute. Rather, Bank of America gave me $500 to open up a checking account with them, depositing a few grand. Then when I get the $500, I close my account a few months and then rinse and repeat. Mirko, hey, Uncle Bruce, I bought back 5 HBQ 28s at a quarter. Sold them last week at 98 cents. Now that's called taking profits. Nazareth, Michael, yes, they are looking for minorities to be bag holders with the Fed selling off the MBSs. Mirko, they expire this Friday. Right on there, Mirko. It's a trap, says Michael. Coyote, analysts estimate that GameStop will report an earnings per share of negative 38 cents, says Coyote. And maybe that's why the stock's up. They're coming out with earnings on Wednesday after the bell, by the way. This Wednesday, 2 days from now. 25.57 today, down 179. Not a good sign, is it? We're down 2 days before the earnings. Interesting how this is playing out, isn't it? 138 is the drop on the Dow, 114 drop on Apple, SoFi down 9, Rocket Lab down 6, HPQ down 42 to 27.22 right now. Little chaos. I managed to get a GameStop $5 January 24 call for 20.85 on the dip. So it's 25.85. That's a steal. But it's. You could have bought the stock for 25, but I got it. You got the contract for 20 instead of 20. I got you. Start writing. There you go. Credit Savage, Lobo Blast. I do live for your daily pointers, laughing out loud. Bobby, here's an English question. Does earnings per share affect the price of the stock going forward after each earnings? Yes, it does. It can, I should say. There are stocks that will trade ahead of earnings rather nicely, a month ahead of earnings rather nicely in anticipation of earnings. If a company has been setting quarterly records, higher quarterly earnings every quarter for a couple of years in a row, and the momentum is there, stocks will trade ahead of themselves in anticipation of higher earnings to come. It's called the forward PE multiple idea, where someone will say, wow, the stock's trading at 35 times earnings right now, but actually it's trading at 25 times forward earnings for a year, and it's trading at 18 times 2 years forward earnings. Analysts will use those kinds of analytics to justify buying or paying a higher price today than what maybe the stock should be at. They're buying tomorrow's earnings today. As long as it comes true, it can work out, because 2 years from now, the stock might have forward earnings up again and again and again for the next 2 years, and the stock is still trading at 30 times those earnings made 2 years from now based on 2 years from then. So now we're talking 4 years ahead. And that's why some stocks trade at very high multiples on future anticipated earnings. Michael, Bobby, the market seems to react sharply on earnings per share alone. Pat, is ATIP in danger of being delisted due to remaining under $1? I don't think so. I think it'll be all right. Beach Boy, hi, Uncle Bruce. I managed another tax shield. This time, 11 grand. Thank you, GameStop and Uncle Bruce. Beautiful job. Because Beach Boy lives in Israel, if he sells shares and buys them back, or sells a contract and buys them back, and he has a loss on the position, there in Israel, he can write off the loss, a capital gain loss, instantly, and claim the capital gain credit, and literally have the credit in his account, the tax credit instantly in his account. Now, if he sells a call for $8 and buys it for $2, he has a $6 gain. And the minute he buys that call back, he has locked in that gain. He owes tax on the gain. That might be 25%, $1.50 of the profit. Made $6, $1.50 to the tax man, keep $4.50. But you don't have a tax bill at the end of the year. You are literally settling your gains and losses instantaneously. So if Beach Boy had something that dropped in value, but he doesn't want to get rid of it, he'll sell it and buy it right back. Same price, doesn't matter. In the US, it's called wash trade, not in Israel. In Israel, you can write off the loss right away, take the credit, the tax credit, add it to your account, and move forward. Here in this case, 11 big ones. One of the advantages. Forward-looking stock market explains covered calls, says Credit Savage. Nazareth, Bobby, it's not so much that earnings per share affects the shares, it's what expected versus what is actual. So if the earnings per share expected is 1, but the actuals 2, then it beats expectations, not the EPS score. Mirko also bought back 4 GameStop, $30, September 9 calls. I sold Thursday for $1.79 each. I just paid a generous 51 cents to get them back. So made $1.28, $128 times 4 contracts since Thursday. It's not bad money. I'd say that's okay. If you could do that every 3-4 days on your contracts, wouldn't that be a reasonable income? I'd say so. Make that twice a week. It's $1,000 a week. Not bad. Keep it going. The Dow is down 152 at the moment. GameStop 2550 down 186. 2546 down 190 at the moment. Thank you all for all your commentary. And Beach Boy, thank you for that donation, 30 shekels. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate those. They all add up. They all add up. Those of you making donations to Jennifer and I through super chats like this or through PayPal donations, we thank you. The PayPal donations are the best, absolutely the best. We end up, out of every dollar you send us, when you do well, apparently we do well. If you're sending us a donation here on PayPal, 96% of what you send comes to us. It's only a 4% fee through PayPal to take your dough, send it to us, credit it as us, and it's instantaneous. It is in our account within minutes. We thank you. On the PayPal side, on the YouTube side, with these super chats that are going over here. On that side, something like this, we end up getting 70% of what this is. And we only get paid once a month on everything we do on YouTube. So this donation will land in our account on the 21st of October. So I have to wait. I have to wait till the 21st of October to get this donation. 70% of this donation, whereas a donation on PayPal lands in our account in like a minute and a half, like sometimes 30 seconds, and 96% of it is ours to enjoy. And I can literally transfer the funds from PayPal to my bank account now and get access to it this afternoon from my bank machine. I mean, it is that fast. So we thank all of you for everything, as I always do. The memberships, of course, right here. These right here, PayPal donations, class purchases, and one-on-one sessions. If you would like a one-on-one session with me to go over your account, your life, your scenario, your hopes, dreams, and aspirations, you can write me an email here. This is my email address. You'll see this down below in the description. It's in the link. It's in the description. So is the PayPal link that you see going by. It's down below. You can do that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whenever you want. If you want to make a donation to Uncle Bruce at 2 a.m, because an old relative that owed you $1,000 finally paid you back. And it's 2 a.m. and you can't sleep and you just want to send Uncle Bruce a donation of something. You can do it anytime you want. We say thank you. Maybe not at 2 a.m. It might take until the next day I get around to it, but I do appreciate it. All right. Again, if you want a one-on-one, send me a request. Say, Bruce, I'd like to sit down with you. I need an hour of your time. When are you available? And I'll let you know. I'll let you know when my next opening is up. We'll go from there. Okay. Thank you all. All right. We're done here. I've been on the air now for 2 hours, 10 minutes. I got to pack this up and to get a break in here. Thank you all for this. Mirko, I have stink bids in for 16 GameStop 28 September 9s. Let's hope those hit too. Way to go, Mirko. Tiff, there's some serious buying. Most of the missed positions turn green. Tiff, is it a dead cat though? Probably, most likely. We'll see, Tiff. We'll see how this market goes. Right now, the Dow is only down 52, but S&P is down 7.7, NASDAQ down 66. We're getting a lot of computer trading and everything. I think we're going to kind of bounce around in these neighborhoods, plus or minus 200 points, 300 points. Don't be surprised if we're going to be in this neighborhood a while. And there'll be opportunities where you will write calls, and then there'll be some shrinkage, and time will go by. You'll buy back. There'll be a little pop. You'll write again, and then you'll buy them back, and you'll write again. And so look for turnover now for a little while. We've had some slippage. We had the run. It stopped. That was 3 weeks ago. It's over. Now we have slippage to here. We may now have some turnover, some rollover turnovers. Get ready to take advantage of this market either way it wants to go. Okay? Way to go, everybody, today. Well done, everybody. Cam, I am thumbs up, 239. You guys are awesome. Thank you. I received a donation on PayPal. Ho, ho, ho is the message. Thank you. I know exactly who that is. I don't even have to look at it, and I know exactly who that is. I was right. Thank you, mystery donor who did that. I know who you are. I know who you are. Anyway, there you go. Thank you. You gotta love it. You guys are great. Thank you all so much for your support. Look, I'll be on again today at 3 o'clock this afternoon, okay? We'll see you at 3 o'clock Eastern time for the final hour of trading, and we'll walk through this closing market together, and let's get on with it. Nick, I've reshorted some of my favorites. I'm back in again. Hawkeye, Superness, figure out your play and go for it. Splair, what is oil doing now? It looks interesting. We're down 29 cents. There you are. I see it going lower. Yeah, there you are. All right, you guys. I have a great morning, a great afternoon. I'll see you this afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern, okay? And we'll go through this again, see what we can do, and we'll see how many of you are making even more money because they're just handing it to you. These gamblers, oh my God, are they handing it to you? Unbelievable. You got to love this. All right, guys. We'll talk to you a little later this afternoon. Bye for now.